My name is Frank Fischer. I am an associate professor for digital humanities at the High School of Economics in Moscow, and I'm one of the 3 directors of DARIAH.
I'd like to know a little bit about your educational background. What did you study and kind of how did you end up where you are today?
Actually, I was born a DH person in a way without knowing it, because I couldn't decide what to study. So I studied both computer science and literature. So I'm a natural born DHer, if you will. But back then everybody thought I was crazy, because who studies these 2 things? There's no way they're linked, and I always had 2 different kinds of friends, etc. And then after my PhD, which I did in literature, I noticed that there's something called digital humanities, and I thought, like, that's really carved out for me. How did I not know that earlier? And then I applied for a job that was just popping up there in Göttingen, and that's where I ended up. And it was very easy for me to get into the community. In my first year, I largely had to translate between the 2 worlds, because they had an ongoing project there between computer scientists, technical people, and humanities, social scientists people. And I was translating. It's like cooking coffee in a way. So, but I already saw that I made so much difference there, because I think I understand both worlds, and it was nice to do so, and to ease up the process a bit of negotiating things and projects was really fun to do, and that's largely also still part of my job.
Mm-hmm. And when you look back, do you think, I mean, what were the formative educational experiences from you? Where did you learn the most? Was it in the university officially, or on the job, hands-on, doing projects? How do you see this kind of distinction between formal and informal education?
I think the digital humanities, which is really my discipline, other people would argue it's not a discipline, but I think it is. The decisive thing is that it changes how things are taught at university. So all these different kinds of alternative teaching methods, workshops, summer, spring, whatever schools, that's how you, for example, learn a programming language if you've never done that. You don't learn this like another language by going to a course once a week. So that called for different alternative methods, and we have that. When I actually joined, it was already in place, and I saw very quickly that this is the way to do that. For me, research infrastructures, especially DARIAH, they have 2 layers: a social layer and a humanities layer, if you will, and a technical layer. And we have to it's always oscillating between these 2 poles. It's not, no one is right or wrong, but that's what digital humanities is, something in between, in the best case. And research infrastructures should acknowledge and have acknowledged that digital humanities are not taught in traditional way. I mean, you can learn a little bit that way, but it's not really how you get in the weeds. I mean, that's definitely what you have to do, and you have to get your hands dirty or something by touching a keyboard, not writing a Word document, but by programming. And that is best done in an own context, which could be a hackathon or a workshop or a summer school, for example. We also have this course registry where you can see the diversity of things offered throughout Europe and throughout the world. And they're actually very popular. The first summer school that we did in Göttingen in 2014 was really popular, and you always see what's happening at such an event. People are pouring in from all different kinds of the humanities, and it's interesting what they talk about to each other, but it's usually not where they meet, because an art historian that is researching, I don't know, Ghirlandaio's early paintings and a musician who is researching Bach, I mean, of course they can acknowledge that they're researching beautiful things or interesting things, but where they have to meet is like on neutral territory, which I think is like all the technicalities that come with the digital humanities. And that's the common ground.